When my own kids first started making a whole meal by themselves, it actually grew more out of desperation than me trying to be a good and intentional parent and passing on life skills to them. I think this is how a lot of us end up parenting. Sometimes it's super intentional. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, we just have a need and maybe the kids can help fill it. So I had already taught my three older kids to cook. If you know my story, when my oldest Paul was 10 years old and in fourth grade, he did a how-to speech in his fourth grade classroom, and he demonstrated how to make guacamole. He used the chef's knife. It was really cool, but I had a bit of a moment realizing guacamole was the only thing he could make. So it was that summer after Paul's fourth grade, when my older three kids were 10, 7, and 4, that I strategically and intentionally taught them to cook. And then we created the Kids Cook Real Food e-course. Now, a couple years later, I really felt a call on my heart to help out with the high school youth group at our church. Now, high school youth group was like 5:30 to 7 p.m. on Sunday nights, something like that timing wise. And I told my husband I really would like to do this. And his response was, "Oh, no, 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 no." He said, "I know what this will look like. This will end up being you getting the dinner like half to three quarters of the way finished, sort of throwing some food at us and shrieking in stress and running out of the house and leaving all of us like shell shocked there with this dinner that may or may not even be cooked and stuck with like all of your like stress juice." And he's probably right. He's probably right. I'm one of my skills is not getting dinner on the table in a very timely fashion, particularly early in the day, like before 6, and I'd have to leave at 5 or maybe before that to get to this event. So he said, "No way, Jose." And I'm a problem solver, so I said, but what if Paul and Leah, who were at the time 12 and 9, said, what if they could do dinner so that I didn't have to, so that I had that freedom to leave when I needed to leave to be fairly on time for high school youth group. So I asked Paul and Leah, I said, I have this idea, and it would be a way for like our whole family in some sense to serve the kids at church, because I would really like to go serve the kids at church in person, but I can't do that. Dad doesn't think I can do that logistically and make dinner. So I said, what do you guys think? Could you make dinner? And it might have even been every other Sunday. The details are getting a little foggy. It was either every week or every other week that I was doing this. I said, could you make dinner every week? And I said, I was thinking that if you just made pizza, homemade pizza every Sunday, that then it would be a little easier on you. You'd have like some of the responsibility, but not this like constantly shifting task. Because that's part of why making dinner is hard. One, you got to pick something every night. And two, sometimes you're like not quite sure how long it'll take or if it'll turn out, right? There's a lot of unknowns as adults cooking. And in my childhood, we pretty much always had pizza on Sundays. So that was like reminiscent for me. And they said, okay. They said, we think we can do this. So I implemented a strategic plan, right? It grew out of desperation, but I am an intentional parent. So I implemented this very strategic plan. And